Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. President Ram Nath Kovind inaugurates Ashadh Purnima celebrations. Says Buddha's teaching is woven around love, compassion and non-violence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges youth to stay connected with the thoughts of Lord Buddha. COVID-19 recovery rate inches close to 60.80% in the country. Over 3,94,000 people recovered so far. In Jammu and Kashmir, entire Kashmir Valley except Bandipora district kept in red zone in the fight against COVID-19. More than 500 flights will be operated under Phase 4 of Vande Bharat mission. And Home Minister Amit Shah pays tributes to Swami Vivekananda on his death anniversary. Says Swami Vivekananda's ideals still inspire the youth to serve the nation. President Ram Nath Kovind has said that India is proud of being the land of the origin of the Dhamma. He said that people in the country see Buddhism as a fresh expression of the sublime truth, and the Buddha's enlightenment and preachings were in line with India's tradition of respect for intellectual liberalism and spiritual diversity. Inaugurating celebrations organized by International Buddhist Confederation on the occasion of Ashadh Purnima today, Mr. Kovind said, it was from India that Buddhism began to spread in neighbouring regions and grew organically in new fertile soils, eventually branching off into various offshoots. Mr. Kovind expressed happiness at hosting the Ashadh Purnima celebration in the Rashtrapati Bhavan as part of India's civilizational journey for welfare of the universe since time immemorial. The President called it a momentous occasion, unparalleled in the history of humankind. This day is also known as Guru Purnima. Hindus and Jains also celebrate it as a mark of reverence for their spiritual teachers. Mr. Kovind said this day is an unbroken link to India's eternal pursuit of wisdom without dogma. Mr. Kovind said Buddha's teaching was against the current during those times, but the force of his argument was woven around love, compassion and non-violence. He added that the spread of Buddhism around the world was guided by these eternal values. The President said the Dhamma Chakra has been the lodestar, helping spiritual seekers navigate through the maze of worldly life and arrive at the end of suffering.
The Dhamma Chakra, the wheel of truth, was set in motion ever since it has been the lodestar, helping spiritual seekers navigate through the maze of worldly life and arrive at the end of suffering here and now. It is so scientific that it resembles psychotherapy more than a traditional dogmatic religion. The wheel has come full circle and the word of Dhamma has in the recent decades spread to distant shores in the West too.
Mr. Kovind observed that the world is in the midst of a virulent pandemic that has overwhelmed the entire humanity. He said people have to follow certain discipline and maintain physical distance. The President highlighted that in modern times, Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar found inspiration in the words of the Buddha and went on to shape the destiny of the nation.
In modern times, two exceptionally great Indians, Mahatma Gandhi and Babasaheb Ambedkar, found inspiration in the words of the Buddha and went on to shape the destiny of the nation. Following in their footsteps, we should strive to hear the call of the Buddha, to respond to his invitation to walk the noble path. The world seems full of suffering, in short term as well as in long term.
Addressing the celebration of Ashadh Purnima, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the world is fighting extraordinary challenges today and lasting solutions can come from the ideals of Lord Buddha. He said they were relevant in the past, they are relevant in the present and they will remain relevant in the future. Mr. Modi said bright young minds are finding solutions to global problems.
I'm very hopeful about the 21st century. This hope comes from my young friends, our youth. If you want to see a great example of how hope, innovation and compassion can remove suffering. It is our startup sector led by our youth. Bright young minds are finding solutions to global problems. India has one of the largest startup ecosystems. I would urge my young friends to also stay connected with the thoughts of Lord Buddha. They will motivate and show the way ahead.
Mr. Modi said the government wants to focus on connectivity to Buddhist sites. He added that a few days back, the Union Cabinet announced that the Kushinagar Airport will be an international airport. The Prime Minister said the eightfold path of Lord Buddha shows the way towards the well-being of many societies and nations. He said it highlights the importance of compassion and kindness, and the teachings of Lord Buddha celebrate simplicity both in thought and action.
The teachings of Lord Buddha celebrate simplicity both in thought and action. Buddhism teaches respect. Respect for people, respect for the poor, respect for women, respect for peace and non-violence. Therefore, the teachings of Buddhism are the means to a sustainable planet.
Home Minister Amit Shah today paid tributes to Swami Vivekananda on his death anniversary. In a series of tweets, the Home Minister said Swami Vivekananda was a saint, a great thinker, and an extraordinary speaker who not only reinforced the spirit of nationalism in India, but also fostered the entire world with the qualities of Indian culture. The minister said Swami Vivekananda's ideas of education, universal brotherhood, and self-awakening are equally relevant today. Mr. Shah said he had great faith in the ability and transformational power of the youth. He said Swami Vivekananda believed that only the youth will give the right direction and power to the development of the nation in the times to come. He further said Swami Vivekananda's ideals still inspire the youth to serve the nation.
The Union Government today said that a total of 3,94,227 people affected with coronavirus have recovered in the country so far. In the past 24 hours, 14,335 people recovered from COVID-19, and with this, the recovery rate reached 60.80%. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said a total of 22,771 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the country within last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 6,48,315. This is the highest spike in fresh cases since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in India. In a single day, 442 deaths were reported, taking the nationwide toll to 18,655. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 235,433. The Union Health Ministry has issued revised clinical management protocol for COVID-19 patients. The new protocol also contains the details of symptoms and conditions in different stages of treatment. The ministry has also described the use of investigational therapies, remdesivir, convalescent plasma, tocilizumab, and hydroxychloroquine on COVID-19 infected persons. It said the use of these drugs is subjected to limited availability in the country as of now, and currently these drugs should only be used in a defined subgroup of patients. In the protocol, the ministry has recommended the dosage of antiviral drug remdesivir being administered to hospitalized COVID-19 patients to 5-day treatment course. The ministry said remdesivir drug is only for restricted emergency use on patients with moderate disease who are on oxygen support. The drug cannot be administered to a pregnant or lactating mother and children below the age of 12 years. Also, the drug is not recommended to a patient with severe renal impairment.
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Raman Gangakhedkar, former head scientist of epidemiology and communicable diseases at the Indian Council of Medical Research, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. One can also ask questions on telephone number 011 23314444 and post queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates. In our series, Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of some leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Uma Kumar, Head of Rheumatology Department AIMS, suggested to the people to follow social distancing, hand hygiene and cough etiquettes.
Only thing which helps is social distancing or physical distancing. Along with it, you have like hand hygiene, washing your hands very frequently, and cough etiquettes like while coughing or sneezing, just cover your face and nose. Use tissue paper or cloth, or if you don't have anything, you can just cough into your elbows. Third thing is using the face mask. For a general public, you can use cotton face mask, and then they have to be very positive. Don't give up, and surely we'll conquer over this virus.
President of Public Health Foundation of India, Dr. K. Srinath Reddy said, India is in a much better position as compared to rest of the world as far as the COVID-19 cases are concerned, and the measures taken are yielding results.
We started getting affected later than many other countries, but we are presently in a much better position than the rest of the world, and in that sense, we are better protected. However, we still have to watch how the epidemic advances before we can come to a judgment. But right now, it appears that our measures taken progressively from February and peaking with the lockdown are now paying dividends and showing results.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates Ashadha Purnima celebrations, says Buddha's teaching is woven around love, compassion and non-violence. Prime Minister Modi urges youth to stay connected with the thoughts of Lord Buddha. COVID-19 recovery rate inches close to 61% in the country. Over 3,94,000 people recovered so far. In Jammu and Kashmir, entire Kashmir Valley except Bandipora district kept in red zone in the fight against COVID-19. More than 500 flights will be operated under Phase 4 of Vande Bharat mission, and Home Minister Amit Shah pays tributes to Swami Vivekananda on his death anniversary. Says Swami Vivekananda's ideals still inspire the youth to serve the nation. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Steel Authority of India has achieved the highest ever June month sales during June 2020. The domestic and export sales stood at 12.77 lakh tons, which is a jump of more than 18% over the corresponding period last year. In June 2020, the company has also recorded the highest ever exports for any month. It exported 3.4 lakh tons steel during this period. It also achieved the best ever June dispatches of rails to the Indian Railways in June 2020. Incidentally, for the first time in the country, SAIL flagged off the first rake of R260 grade vanadium alloyed high-strength 260-meter rails to the Indian Railways, capable of delivering high speed and bearing higher axle load. Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Steel, Dharmendra Pradhan, congratulated the SAIL collective for achieving the feat and said the record June sales and exports by SAIL is indicative of the buoyancy and sharp recovery our economy is witnessing. On the other hand, Rourkela Steel Plant RSP has set a national record by clocking 48 blows in a single day in a single converter of Steel Melting Shop 2, SMS2, on 2nd of July. On the same day, the steel plant set another benchmark. Its hot metal torpedo, ladle number 5, surpassed its previous record of 2,331 lining life. A report from a correspondent.
Despite Raulkela steel plant has been fighting multi-pronged challenges in view of COVID-19, the plant is leaving no stone unturned to achieve the bar in every facet of performance. The feat is possible because of perfect coordination and tremendous contribution by different departments. Deepak Chhatra, CEO of RSP, visited both SMS2 and Ladle Repair Shop and congratulated the collective for the best performance. He emphasized upon the thrust of the company on cost efficiency and expressed hope that achievements like these will help the company achieve the improved cost parameters. He said, Tapan Maharana, AR News, Cuttack.
We spoke to Deepak Chatterjee, Chief Executive Officer, Raurkela Steel Plant, on achieving this feat.
In a steel plant, liquid iron, which is made at blast furnaces, is further refined in steel melting shop through oxygen blowing in the converter vessels. At RSP, out of 3 converters, each converter normally produces about 30 hits per converter per day. In order to improve the efficiency and motivate the collective in a challenging situation due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, initiative was taken to produce maximum hits from a converter. On 2nd July, we could make 48 number blows from a single converter due to the dedicated effort of our employees at SMS and its support services. In the process, we established a national record of steel making. The entire initiative has been in response to the clarion call given by our Honorable Prime Minister for an Atmanirbhar Bharat and inspiration from our Honorable Steel Minister. For this, our SAIL chairman has been a consistent guiding factor.
The Vande Bharat mission, which entered its 4th phase yesterday, is progressing smoothly. More than 500 flights will be operated under phase 4 of this mission. This includes both Air India and private carriers who are ramping up their operations in a big way. Air India will be conducting 170 flights till 15th of July to and from 17 countries, including Australia, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Canada, Germany, Japan, Kuwait, Malaysia, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Philippines. A report.
Private airlines will have significant participation in the 4th phase of Vande Bharat mission. Over 500 flights will be operated by the private airlines, including Indigo and Go Air. Civil Aviation Ministry said that among others, Indigo would operate 238 flights from Qatar and 219 flights from Kuwait. Go Air will operate 41 flights from Kuwait. Phase 4 will particularly focus on countries where there still are a large number of Indians who have registered to return. Meanwhile, a record 5 lakh stranded Indians have returned safely to India under the mission till now. The operations commenced on 7th May and in less than 2 months, nearly 5,04,000 stranded Indians from 137 countries have returned to their homes. With Bhupendra Singh, Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
In Rajasthan, the recovery rate of COVID-19 infected persons has reached about 80%. With 204 persons tested positive today, the total number of infected persons has gone up to 19,256, out of which 15,352 people have been cured. Our correspondent reports that due to maximum testing and intensive tracing, COVID patients are recovering fast. More in this report.
Taking population into consideration, Rajasthan is at the top in COVID investigation. Testing facilities of more than 30,000 samples daily has been developed. About 8,70,000 samples have been tested so far. An audit of death due to corona in the state is also been made mandatory, and the focus is at ruthless containment. As soon as the corona patient is detected, immediately the affected area gets sealed and sampling in the area begins, due to which the infection does not spread to other areas. The state has also adopted the best practices of other states. The state government started Operation Lisa, under which the elderly and sick people were quarantined in their homes. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Gujarat, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation AMC has added 26 new areas of the city in micro-containment zones after detection of new cases. According to official release, 2 areas falling under Bodakdev and Vatva have been removed from the micro-containment zones. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Majority of new 26 areas added in micro-containment zones are falling under Northwest, Southwest and West Ahmedabad. Health Department of AMC has launched intense door-to-door surveillance and mass screening in these areas. COVID-19 test will be carried out of all symptomatic persons found during the surveillance. A 10th standard pass villager of Banaskantha district, Bharat Prajapati, has developed an automated vending machine for Golgappas. People need to insert a currency note and select the choice of test to get ready-made Golgappas on a rolling tray. Machine stores 100 Golgappas at a time. A small mobile repairer of Raviana village, Bharat, told that this machine helps for maintaining social distancing while selling or purchasing Golgappas. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Chief Secretary BVR Subramaniam, who is also the Chairman of the State Executive Committee, has issued a classification of the districts in Jammu and Kashmir. The entire Kashmir Valley, except Bandipora, has been kept in red zone in the fight against coronavirus pandemic. More from our Srinagar correspondent.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, State Executive Committee has classified the districts of Jammu and Kashmir into red, orange and green zones after taking into account the overall assessment of the situation. According to the order, all the districts in Kashmir Valley except Bandipora have been kept in red category zone, keeping in view of the spike of positive cases in the valley, particularly in view of the stranded persons returning to Kashmir from different parts of the country nowadays, and in an effort to control further the spread of corona infection in Kashmir Valley. This is Sunil Kaul, Air News from Srinagar.
In Odisha, a 2-day weekend shutdown in 17 districts has begun from today. The state government has imposed shutdown in the districts with high cases to flatten the rising COVID-19 curve. A report.
To contain the spread of COVID-19, a 2-day weekend shutdown has started in Odisha. Earlier, the state government had imposed a weekend shutdown in 10 districts, including Ganjam, Gajapati, Khordha, Cuttack, Jagatsinghpur, Jajpur, Baleshwar, Mayurbhanj, Keonjhar and Jharsuguda. However, collectors of 7 other districts took the decision to impose the 48-hour shutdown in their respective districts in view of rising number of COVID-19 cases. The 7 districts are Raigada, Koraput, Kandhamal, Kendrapada, Balangir, Bargarh and Dhenkanal. The police administration has tightened the security to enforce the complete shutdown of non-essential services, while all essential services including healthcare, drinking water, electricity supply and ATM counters were allowed to remain open during the shutdown. Similarly, home delivery of food by restaurants and distribution of LPG cylinder were permitted. Moreover, Odisha has reported 8,601 COVID cases, while 5,705 patients have recovered and 31 people have died so far. Itishri Singh Rathore, AIA News, Cuttack.
Karnataka will reimpose lockdown on Sunday, starting tomorrow in a bid to contain the rise in cases of COVID-19 in the state. A high-level meeting convened by Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa had decided to introduce the complete lockdown on Sundays. No activity other than essential services and supplies will be allowed tomorrow. More from our correspondent.
All non-essential activities will come to a standstill in Karnataka tomorrow. The shops and establishments and public transport will be closed and public will not be allowed to move around without valid reason. The state has decided to strengthen effective monitoring and surveillance of COVID cases. In Bengaluru, which has witnessed steep spike, 8,800 electoral booth-level task force committees will manage the pandemic. Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has informed the detailed guidelines for home isolation and funeral of dead bodies has been prepared. He also said that 400 ambulances will be deployed in the city, teleconsultation facility will be made available, and legal action will be taken against those violating home quarantine. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Mizoram, the state government has decided to postpone the opening of schools for the current academic session for an indefinite period. As per an earlier announcement by the government, schools were scheduled to open on 15th of this month. The State Education Minister Lalchandamma Ralte said this today. More from our correspondent.
The Education Minister Lalchand Damaralte said that keeping the current situation in view and as a part of measures to contain the spread of COVID-19, the government has decided to postpone the opening of schools until further order. The decision has also been taken to adhere to the guidelines of the Union Home Ministry. The Home Ministry has recently directed all states not to open educational and training institutes till 31st of this month due to the spike of COVID-19 cases in the country. Meanwhile, the Class 12 board examinations suspended midway due to the pandemic were conducted successfully. These exams began on 1st July and concluded yesterday. About 7,026 students wrote their board examinations in economics, chemistry, sociology, computer science and home science. Shubhashish Chando, EIR News, Aizawl.
In Arunachal Pradesh, 20 new COVID-19 cases were detected yesterday. With this, the total number of COVID cases in the state has gone up to 252. The number of active cases stands at 175, with 75 recovered and 1 death. All the cases in the state are reported from quarantine facilities and linked to returnees from other states. The positive cases also include a couple of health workers engaged in COVID care centres. The Arunachal Pradesh government has made institutional quarantine mandatory for all returnees to the state, where their swab collections are done after 3 days. In a strong support to India over the clash with China in Galwan Valley, Japan has said that it opposes any unilateral attempts to change the status quo in the region. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla had yesterday briefed Japanese Ambassador Satoshi Suzuki over telephone on the situation along the line of actual control. The Japanese Ambassador Satoshi Suzuki said that Japan hopes for a peaceful resolution of the row through dialogues. He tweeted that Japan appreciates Government of India's policy to pursue peaceful resolution. He said that Japan hopes for peaceful resolution through dialogues and opposes any unilateral attempts to change the status quo.
In Maharashtra, heavy downpour is being witnessed in Mumbai and adjoining Thane, Raigad, Palghar, Sindhurgarh, Ratnagiri along with Beed district since last night. Incidents of landslides have been reported from many places. However, no casualties were reported. More in this report.
Heavy rains which lashed Sindhudurg district has affected the paddy fields as they have been washed away due to excess water. In Beed district of Marathwada, heavy rains have caused inconvenience to many patients, doctors, nurses and health workers as they were stranded due to waterlogging. Apart from this, essential hospital supplies like oxygen cylinders and surgical supplies too could not be delivered to the hospital. Continuous rainfall in Raigad district since last 3 days has disrupted the normal life. 3-meter high tides at the sea in Sakhar, Akshi, Hora Port and Dighi Port have caused severe damage. The district administration has issued a warning to the coastal villages as high tides are expected to rise in the sea for the next 8 days. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
Now let us take a look at the weather updates for today. The national capital Delhi is expected to have thunderstorm with rain. The minimum temperature was 30 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 40 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The city witnessed a minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and will have a maximum of 33 degrees. In Chennai, the temperature will hover between 24 and 37 degrees Celsius. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers with a minimum temperature of 28 degrees Celsius. The maximum temperature will be nearly 34 degrees. In Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 29 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 37 degrees. The city is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. In Srinagar, the temperature will hover between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was recorded at 15 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees, and the sky will be mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. The sky in Muzaffarabad will be mainly clear. The place witnessed a minimum temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature will be around 40 degrees. Chandigarh will see a generally cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder or lightning. The minimum temperature was recorded at 30 degrees Celsius and maximum temperature will be around 37 degrees. Bengaluru is expected to experience temperatures between 21 to 29 degrees Celsius. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President Ram Nath Kovind inaugurates Ashadh Purnima celebrations, says Buddha's teaching is woven around love, compassion and non-violence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges youth to stay connected with the thoughts of Lord Buddha. COVID-19 recovery rate inches close to 61% in the country. Over 3,94,000 people recovered so far. In Jammu and Kashmir, entire Kashmir Valley except Bandipora district kept in red zone in the fight against COVID-19. More than 500 flights will be operated under Phase 4 of Vande Bharat mission. And Home Minister Amit Shah pays tributes to Swami Vivekananda on his death anniversary. Says Swami Vivekananda's ideals still inspire the youth to serve the nation. And with that, we end the Midday News.